Hello everyone and welcome. Dawn here. It's hop time again at Whimsy Stamps. I'm excited to participate in the Whimsy Stamps Spooky Favorites Hopping giveaway. Throughout the hop, each team member is sharing their spooky favorite Whimsy Stamps product. We do have two new people joining our hop today, Carrie and Julie, so please welcome them when you hop on over to their channel. Remember, this is a hashtag-driven hop, and you must click on the hashtag in the title to find all the participating channels. So be sure to leave a comment below and subscribe to the Whimsy channel for a chance to win a $50 gift card. I'll go over more of the details a little later on in the hop, but for now, let me show you what products I chose to use today. Now, if you watch my videos, you know my actual spooky favorite die from Whimsy Stamps is the Boo die set that I use on almost every Halloween card I make. But today I wanted to change it up a bit, and I'm going with the Build the Pumpkin Patch die. This die set is amazing. You get a large pumpkin die along with 3 smaller pumpkins. You get tiny little pumpkins that you can make confetti with if you want, and you get a bunch of different size leaves. I decided to make a card with a bunch of the pumpkins with different faces on it, so I'll be using the Halloween expression stencil to put faces on my pumpkins. You can see all these cute little faces the stencil has, and it will fit nicely on the pumpkin. The first thing I'm going to do is die cut 6 of this pumpkin from white cardstock. Here are my pumpkins. Now, the stem on the pumpkins was a little long for what I wanted to use it for. I want to be able to fit 6 of the pumpkins on the front of my card front, so I'm just going to trim the stem a little bit. I did 1 and then I used it as a template to cut all the rest of them, so they're all the same size. I just snip the top off and then just kind of round it out so it's not so pointy. And there you have it. I did all 6 of them the same way. Next, I'm going to color all of my pumpkins, and the quickest and easiest way to color these pumpkins is to ink blend them. It's super fast, and I think they came out perfect. I put down a layer of Distress Oxide Fossilized Amber on all 6 of the pumpkins. I don't go crazy coloring the whole thing in. I leave some spots lighter than others, and then I'm going to go around the edge with the Distress Oxide Rusty Hinge, the Rusty Hinge color, leaving some of the middle with the yellow showing. Okay, while I do the ink blending, let me tell you a little bit more about the hop. Be sure to hop along to each stop in the hop for a chance to win a $50 gift certificate to the Whimsy Stamps shop sponsored by Whimsy Stamps. One winner will be chosen at random via a YouTube random comment picker. So be sure to leave a comment and subscribe to the Whimsy channel. You will have until Monday, October 16th at 11:59 p.m. to leave a comment. The winner will be announced Wednesday, October 18th on all the participating channels. Okay, so let's get back to the pumpkins. After I finish putting the rusty hinge around all the edges of the pumpkin, I'm going to color the stems with some Distress Oxide Walnut Stain. Now, to ink blend my stems, I did use my smallest ink blending brush that I had, just so I don't get any of the brown onto the actual pumpkin. It's really easy to do, and I'm blending, well, as I'm blending, I'm facing the bristles towards the upper part of the stem and not towards the pumpkin. This will also help to not get ink where you don't want it. Okay, now to do the pumpkin faces. I did decide to use my Distress Oxide Black Soot just because it blends well, and I already had it on my desk. But keep in mind it will smudge until it dries, so you may want to use a dye ink instead. It will dry faster. I place the stencil over the pumpkin, and then I just ink blend the black on top. Then I'm just going to set them aside to dry. I'm also going to use a baby wipe in between to clean off my stencil, just so that I don't get any black where I don't want it, because I'm famous for that. And then I'm just going to ink blend the faces onto my pumpkin until they're all done. Once my pumpkins are done, I will set all of them aside to dry a little longer. Next, I want to heat emboss my sentiment. I'm using the Hocus Pocus Kittens stamp set and the Happy Halloween sentiment. I rub the paper with my embossing powder bag, and then I'm going to stamp the sentiment with Versamark ink. I pour gold embossing powder on it, and when my heat tool is good and hot, I will heat emboss the sentiment. I decided to use the Scallop 6 A2 die because I thought the white paper looked too plain and it needed something else. I did die cut 2 white frames to raise it up a bit. I'm going to tell you I changed my mind at the end when I finished this whole card. I decided I wanted more color onto the card, and so I went back and added a black frame over the white frame. So if you want to skip this part, you can, or if you like the white frame, you can do that as well. Whatever color you choose, the white or the black, you can die cut 2 of them and stack them on top of each other. I adhered a piece of white cardstock to the back of the frame. It is a little smaller than the frame because originally I wanted to have a black border showing around the frame. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to trim the frame down a little bit so that the black border will show around the frame. However, you can skip this part and not add the black border if you go with the black frame at the end like I did. I hope I'm not confusing everyone. I just didn't want to take these steps out in case you wanted to keep the white frame. Next, I adhere a piece of craft foam to the back of the card front, just to give it a little bit of dimension. Then I'm going to adhere the entire card front to the black cardstock. Again, you can skip this part if you go with the black frame on the card front. I adhere the entire card front to an A2 size card base. And then I adhere all the decorative borders into the 6 frames on the card front. I place a foam tape on the back of all the pumpkins, and then I adhere them onto the front of the card in the middle of the 6 frames. I put foam tape on the back of the sentiment, and then I place it on the card front. And that completes the card with the white frame. But at this point, that's when I realized I wanted more color on the front of my card. So I very gently peeled off the sentiment. It was very easy to do. I die cut a black frame and I trimmed it down a little bit just so it wasn't so wide on the front of the card. I put glue directly on the card, and just a little bit so it doesn't get smudged when I put the frame over it. And then I very gently slide the frame behind the pumpkins and over the stems. It really wasn't that hard to do, but if you use the black frame from the beginning, you won't have to worry about doing this part. Then I'm going to put some glue back on the sentiment and adhere it onto the front of the card. And that's going to complete my card for today. Let me know in the comments below if you like the black frame or the white frame better, because honestly, I still am undecided. I hope you enjoyed the Whimsy Stamps Spooky Favorites Hop. Don't forget, this is a hashtag-driven hop, and you must click on the hashtags in the title to find the participating channels. I want to thank you for joining me on the Whimsy Stamps YouTube channel. Be sure to subscribe to the Whimsy Stamps channel and their other social media platforms so you don't miss out on any upcoming releases and great videos. Also, check out their website for more great products. I want to thank you for stopping by and have yourself a wonderful day.